What's going on, everybody? We're back at the field for a quick morning outing. I'm going to be testing the new RotorTech Ultimate 385s. Pretty excited about this. If they're anything like the previous Ultimates, the 700s, the 610s, the 560s, they're going to be pretty killer. So, pretty excited to try these out and let you know what I think of them. I did get a new microphone. If you can't tell, which you probably can't. As you may know, the mic I've been using broke in my last video because it got stuck on the table as I was getting up and just ripped the cable in half. So I ended up just getting a new one. This is a much better one. It's a Sennheiser USB-C microphone, so it's probably better and hopefully better quality as well, because when I inevitably get stuck again, it hopefully won't rip the cable. I'm going to do a couple of flights by myself without any kind of recording or anything, just to make sure I kind of have an idea for how it feels, and then I'll bring the camera back on and do a couple of flights and let you know what I think. So without further ado, let's get into it. So just before that, I wanted to give you a little bit of information. So while I was excitedly awaiting these blades to come in the mail, I did a couple things to the helicopter. Firstly, I moved the balls on the grip arms to the outer hole instead of the inner hole, because as you probably know, Ultimates are pretty agile, and I don't think it'll be necessary to be on the inner hole. Also, I changed all of the servo gears and the cyclic servos because they are very old and pretty worn out, so I just swapped them out and just gave them a nice refresh. I also just completely wiped my flybarless settings and started over, because I've done a lot to the settings to try and tune things, and especially when I was messing with all the different dampeners and the grips, you know, a lot of things have changed. So I figured just start fresh and go from there with these new blades, because they're going to be completely different from anything else I've flown before on it. So anyway, back to that. I still have my microphone on and plugged in, so I bet I look really stupid. But you might be able to hear me a little better instead of trying to hear me through the phone mic while it's all the way up on top of my head. Alright, flew once. I love it already. Gonna fly again and get you on video this time. Let's do it. So this will be 2700 RPM, which, if I recall correctly, is the RPM at which they are optimized for maximum efficiency. Maybe 26. I don't know exactly, but somewhere in that lower RPM range is where they're pretty much the most efficient they can be. So
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Timer 1 up. 90%.
one thing you'll immediately notice, and I certainly do, is how effortless everything seems to it. Even at such low RPM, relatively speaking,
80%.
it just does everything. I think I might have a bad tail bearing. Wow, that sounds horrible. I wonder what that is. I've been doing it for a while. I just can't find anything obviously wrong with it. Tricked you. You thought I was gonna overspeed, didn't you?
30%. 20%. Throttle hold.
Whew. Wow, yeah, they are very good. 1 second. Let me, my blade keeps coming loose. And, I think that nut's completely worn out. It's just loosey-goosey. I gotta change that nut out when I get home. Alright, so midway, halftime break, I guess? Oh, there's a B right there. As I was saying, let me kind of give you my thoughts so far. They are very agile, as expected, but not uncontrollably so. The thing with the Ultimates is you'll hear that they're super agile, which is correct, but you can make agile blades less agile if you need, through the flybar settings. You cannot make slow blades fast. So like the switch blades, the 383s that I greatly dislike, they're slow and there's really not much you can do about it. You can crank your cyclic rates up and your cyclic pitch amount, but you reach a point where the blades are just stalling the whole time and you're not really getting any extra speed. Whereas on fast blades, you can tune them down as needed. And that's kind of how this is. This is pretty much default brain settings, except I increased the flip rates a little bit. And it flies really good. The cyclic super linear collective is powerful, and I mean, they're really good blades. I'm not very good at describing blades, I've found. But I'll say that they're really freaking good. I'll do another flight and try probably one more with lower head speed and then another one with a bit higher head speed, and just see kind of, you know, how they behave at higher RPMs. But I really like how it flies at 2700, because that is where they were designed essentially. So we'll see what happens. Let's get back in the air. Alright, so I just watched the video of that flight and it seems like the audio quality is really good. Of course I was watching on my phone, so it's not like perfect speakers to listen through, but this is actually a pretty good setup because you can hear me really well whilst flying, whereas with the phone mic it's way above my head, behind my head, and behind my hat. So yeah, I like this. Just hope nobody looks at me, because I'll take a selfie later and you'll see what I look like, how stupid it looks. Alright, I really want to know what that sound is, but I've looked over it mechanically. It looks perfect, so whatever. Alright, so let's do a let's see,
Flight mode 2.
20, that's 3,000, okay. So that's 3,000 RPM. God. Oh, they're powerful, alright.
70%. 60%. 50%. 2 minutes.
My personal problem with this much head speed is I really don't know what to do with it most of the time. That's why I tend to fly the lower RPM. Because I don't have enough, like, I don't know. It's hard to, I don't know how to do fast maneuvers, I guess. That's the main issue. I just find myself doing slow stuff and a bunch of waiting time in the middle. There's a bee crawling on my hand, so that's pretty uncool.
20%.
Alright, that's all we got. That's a lot shorter of a flight. I really hope that bee gets away from my hand. Oh, it's gone. Okay.
Throttle hold.
Alright, so that was a much shorter flight. I hit a 95 amp peak. The ESC is sitting at about 80 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to let it cool down a little bit before doing the next flight. So I'm going to take the camera off again and give you my thoughts on that. Alright, so higher head speeds. That was 3,000. Well, obviously, it's a lot faster. As I was kind of saying in the video, I don't really know what to do with that much head speed, so I ended up just wasting a lot of time in between maneuvers. But it's fun. And it seems definitely more efficient, just from the sound, because with like pretty much every other 380 size blade, the aligns, the switches, the RotorTech originals, they're not very agile. So when you, like I do on this, or did, I would just crank the cyclic pitch way up, and while it would get the speed up a little bit, it would just sound like absolute balls, because the blades are just sitting there stalling the entire time. Whereas this one, not only do I not have to do that because they're already pretty fast, but they're not noisy, which is awesome. It means less wasted energy, especially at the lower RPMs is where you can tell the most, because those flip rates that I was getting, I mean, they're pretty fast, but I mean, it's not slow. I don't feel like I need more, which has always been a problem with just about every pair of blades I've tried on this. And that's why I haven't been flying it a ton. Because I'm flying at such a low RPM, none of the blades that currently exist before these are fast enough for me. Not because I want super fast cyclic, but because I want normal cyclic at like low RPM. And that's what these do best. And if you're going to be smacking around, they'll be even faster and it'll be great. And once again, you can tune your flybarless settings to tame it down at higher RPMs. So they're really just a good overall blade for pretty much any kind of flying. If you're just beginning and you're just doing forward flight, basic sport flying, they're great too, because as I've said, I'm going to keep repeating myself, you don't have to avoid fast blades because you think they'll be too fast for you. All you have to do is just set your flybarless unit up and slow them down. And then when you want faster, it's easy. You just speed them back up, which is awesome. I'm going to do one more flight back down to the 2700 speed mark, and that's my last battery. So head up and do a flight, come back down, head home, try and make a decent video out of this. So without further ado, one more flight. I know I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to. And I'll see you in the air. I love the sound that YGE makes when it starts up. so once again, this will be 2700. Do some smooth, deliberate flying.
Minutes.
That was a little rough.
60%. One minute, 40%.
Alright, let's do some nose-in rolls, see how quiet these blades are. Basically inaudible. And granted, most blades are like that. When you're doing nose-in rolls, it's real quiet, but I mean, I literally basically couldn't hear it at all, other than the motor, so that's pretty cool. There's a bee on my ear again.
20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 20%, 2, 1, timer 1, up.
Alright, let's bring her in.
Throttle hold.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I like them. I like them a lot. I really need to change that nut. Yeah, alright. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and take the camera off, give you some closing thoughts, and head out. Alright, so closing thoughts. Well, I mean, they're everything I wanted them to be. Based on the history of RotorTech Ultimates and the other sizes, they are what I expected them to be, and they're what I wanted them to be. They're exactly what I was hoping for from a blade, and prior to this one, nothing filled that desire. But these do. They're fast, they're efficient because they don't stall. I'm gonna make a video later showing the width difference versus the 386, the original 380 size RotorTechs. just because they're much wider. I mean, they're wide, and that's definitely part of it. So like trying to achieve a certain flip rate is easier when you have wider blades, just because you have, you know, more surface area to do the work versus having to add more pitch to do the work. At least I think. Obviously there's, you know, CG and all that jazz that plays in there as well, but yeah, I really like them. I would highly recommend finding a set before they go out of stock, if they haven't already by the time this video's up, because they're gonna be flying off the shelves. I will say that, absolutely. But that's about it, really. Had a great time. It's starting to get sunny too, so my eyes hurt. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say, really, other than buy some. Just do it. You'll love them, I guarantee it. I know a lot of people have been bothering me, not in a negative way, but, you know, bothering me, asking, you know, how are they? And well, now I know. Buy some. To you people who are asking, buy some. Do it. If you haven't already, I know a lot of people that I've talked to about it have pre-ordered already, so you might have them by now. But yeah, just get some. I'm gonna leave it there. Have a great one, guys.